Hi YouTube friends and family, I'm a survivor and thriver here. Guys, today I'm doing another video in my cast iron and charcoal series. And as you can see, I'm lighting up my charcoal. And something that I want to share with you guys, I think I shared it before, never use lighter fluid. Get yourself one of these charcoal starters, put your charcoal in there, put an ignition source underneath, and I'm going to show you what I use for my ignition source. You can use newspaper, but I use these little cubes by I think it's from Weber, but I will double check, and I store it in this container here. And so what I do is light it and put the charcoal starter on top of it with the charcoal, and I just wait until it lights up. So this is my equipment here. I have two metal oil pans. I have a little shovel to scoop out my charcoal from its storage container. I use this for the grill. I just never put it away from a couple of days ago. Leather gloves, and of course my 8-inch Lodge Dutch oven. It has the feet to the bottom and the flange lip on top. And this is a little storage bag that I store it in to protect it. Alright, so when I come back, I'll show you what I'm cooking today, which is going to be a Dutch oven chicken pot pie. I'll be back. Okay guys, I have 12 charcoal briquettes underneath the Dutch oven. The recipe calls for 12 charcoal. That's going to be 8 charcoal on top and 4 on the bottom. But when you're starting out with the chicken pot pie, you want to put all of the coals underneath so you can get the oven really hot so you can start your recipe. So that's what I'm doing now. I went and I put extra charcoal in the charcoal chimney to start while the cooking process is going on because I know that at least halfway through I'm going to have to do a swap out. So I'm just getting it ready there, and just waiting for a few minutes until this oven heats up. Now this recipe, I got it from the internet, from this website, and the name of it, excuse me for my voice guys, is Papa Dutch, and I will leave a link in the description. Since this is one of my family's favorite recipes, I had this recipe laminated, so if someone else wants to use it, they could use it. And on this other side, there's another recipe that's another family favorite, and there it is there. So I will be sharing these recipes with you guys. You can check the website and you'll see all of those wonderful recipes there. He has a bunch of desserts there as well. This little tool I didn't mention, this is a lid lifter. You don't want to be lifting the lids to those Dutch ovens with your bare hands, and sometimes not even with gloves because the heat is so intense. But that thing there works like a charm with getting that lid on and off. And this is another tool. I'm not going to put my lid in the dirt when I take it off. So I have this tool here to place my lid on top of so it doesn't get dirty. And again, everything that I have here I will place in the link in case you guys are interested in it, and you could get it for yourself. Now all of these things in here, these are the ingredients for my recipe, and again, like I said, I will include it in the link in the show more section guys. I also should add guys that the recipe calls for a 12-inch oven to be used in the recipe, but I'm using an 8-inch oven, so I had to alter the recipe to fit the 8-inch. And I never really follow the recipe precisely anyway, so I put a little bit more of this or more of that depending on my family's taste. And the first part of the recipe calls for bacon grease to be placed in the bottom of your pan, and it calls for let's see how many ounces. Oh, 3 tablespoons of bacon grease. Okay, so for my recipe, this bacon grease that I just put in here is going to be more than enough for my altered recipe. So the next step, what I'm going to do is just move the bacon grease around a little in my Dutch oven. And I know some people are going to cringe at the sight of me using my metal spoon in my Dutch oven recipe. Well, I've used metal utensils in my Dutch ovens. I use them all the time. And as you can see, my Dutch ovens, they're in great condition. So I just am very careful not to gouge my Dutch ovens to destroy them. And it's working out just great for me. So I thought I'd share that little bit of information. So the next thing the recipe calls is for garlic chicken to be placed in the pot. So I'm placing that in there. This is my garlic. And this is my chicken. As you can see, it's sizzling up really nicely. So what you have to do is move the chicken around until it's cooked part of the way, until it's like a yellowish color. So what I'm going to do is let that sit in there for a while, place my charcoal on top of the lid, and we'll be on to the next step. Okay guys, this is the next step. As you can see, the chicken is no longer pink, and so now what you do is you add the onions and potatoes. Okay. So what I did was cut up these potatoes and onions, all of my ingredients. And so what I'm going to do here now is just continue to stir it until the onions are translucent. And as you can see, the lid is over there waiting for me. So I have the charcoal on top of the lid, and the lid is on top of the lid stand, so I don't put the charcoal lid in the dirt. And I'm going to mix this all up, and I'll come back with the next step. Okay guys, one part I forgot to mention is once you add your chicken and your garlic in there, you can add salt and pepper to your taste. And now we're on this next step. We're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which are cream of chicken, I have a little booby there. Man, I tell you, it's amazing how much skill is required while doing these cooking videos. You're just hoping that nothing goes wrong, you know. So that's the cream of chicken. You can add poultry seasonings. Of course, they have the full recipe, but I always tweak my recipes. So sometimes they may ask for 1 teaspoon of something, and I put a tablespoon in. Okay. My next seasoning is Worcestershire sauce. That looks like that's about right. I would add my evaporated milk. This is the 5 fluid ounce can. And since I'm doing it in a smaller Dutch oven, I don't put all of it in there. Okay, and now for the final ingredient for now until the end is the mixed veggies. All right. So what I'm going to do is mix this up. Let it cook for a while. The recipe says that it takes 60 minutes to an hour to cook. And I think that is about right. So once I get this all mixed up, guys, I'm going to let it sit for the amount of time that it requires. And how you know that it's ready is you take one of these pieces of potatoes and you break it and see if it's tender or not. If it's tender, it's ready. And if it's still kind of hard, then of course it's not ready. And you put the lid on and you let it go for the required time. Whatever time it takes to get those potatoes done. All right, so as you can see, I placed the lid on there with the briquettes on top. I have 8 briquettes on top and 4 to the bottom. And I'll bring you guys back. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is this, guys. Whenever you're baking in a Dutch oven, it's important to every 15 minutes turn your lid a quarter of a turn one way, and the bottom part a quarter of the way in the opposite direction. And the reason for that is so that you don't get any hot spots in the bottom of your oven, and it lessens your chances of burning your recipe. Alright guys, just thought I'd share that little tidbit. I'll be back with the next portion. Okay guys, let's check it out to see what's going on underneath the lid. Okay, it's bubbling up really well. So what I'm going to do is take some of the heat from beneath the lid, because I don't want it to overcook while I'm cooking the top. Alright guys, so I'll be back for the next part. Okay guys, you see that I had some extra charcoal under there because I did a change out, and now I'm putting only 4 beneath like this. And if you notice, it was bubbling up a whole lot. It was boiling, and I really don't want that. So I had to take the Dutch oven off the fire and move the coals around. So now I'm just going to put that Dutch oven back on. And as you notice, the coals are on the outer rim of the Dutch oven, not directly beneath it. That's how you get the baking effect, when you get half the charcoals around the perimeter of the Dutch oven. On to the next part, guys. Okay guys, we're going to take a peek inside to see how far along we are. And as I told you before, I'm going to take one of the potatoes and press it to the side of the pan to see if it has the tenderness that I'm looking for. And here's one potato here, and it's almost done. I usually like my potatoes a little more tender than that, so I'll give it about 15 more minutes and we will be on to the last step. And I know you guys know what that is, and if you don't, that's going to be the breading that goes on top. All right, so hold on one sec, guys. I will be back. Okay guys, we're on to the last step now. The top needs a crust, and for that I'm using this. So what I'm going to do is take this out of the packaging, place it on top of the dish there, and I'll show you exactly how that's going to go. So I opened up the package just now. You take the rolls out of the roll, and you'll see that it comes apart like this, and it's sectioned off here. And so you just take your crescent rolls and put them on your dish like that. I want to get this here a little neater so it can look a little more presentable. There are 4 rolls in this package here. They do have the packaging with the 5, no, I think it's 6 rolls in it. But since I'm using a small Dutch oven here, I don't need the bigger package. So this last piece here, I'm going to take it and split it up like so, and just cover the remaining portions of the dish like so. And I like to use gloves because just in case I have to stick my hands in there, even though my family and I are the ones who are going to eat this, but still I like to be a little sanitary whenever possible. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put the lid back on top, and I'm going to let the top bake. As you can see, the coals need to be replaced because they're all burnt out, as you can see here. So I already started a batch in here, and so to finish it off, I'm just going to put 8 on top, and that's just going to brown the top of the dish. I really don't need to put any more to the bottom because the bottom is well cooked. So I'll show you when we get to the next step, guys. Okay guys, we're finally at the end. So I'm going to take the lid off and show you the results of our chicken pot pie. Look at that nice golden crust, guys. Look at that. This just proves a point. You don't need electricity, you don't need gas to create a nice meal, a nice, nutritious, delicious meal for your family. Cast iron and charcoal, oil pans, and you really don't need the oil pans, but I just like to protect the ground. And a few utensils, a few tools, and that's what you get. So the next portion of the video, which will be the last portion, will be the taste test. Stick with me guys, we're almost there. Okay guys, now for the taste test. So what I'm going to do is take this lid off of here, and right now I have a pair of pliers, and I'm just going to take the lid off of here, put it on the stove. Look at that, oh my goodness, the smell on it is just phenomenal. Okay, man, this stuff is still really, really hot. So I'm going to take myself a little bit of the crust, potato, and every little bit inside there that I could just take a little bit. Look at that, guys. Oh, it's hot. Good. Guys, this is absolutely delicious. I'd recommend that you guys give it a shot. I know you can do it. A lot of people are intimidated by using cast iron because they're not educated on how to use it. But once you learn, there's no going back. And as I stated before, I will leave the recipe along with the items, the tools that I use, well, for the most part. And if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, please put them below. And as you all know, this is I'm a Survivor and Thriver. And guys, do yourself a favor and try this. I did make alterations, as you saw, and the recipe did call for chicken breast, but we mostly like dark meat in the house, so I use chicken thighs, and I tell you, it's just delicious. Alright guys, you know how it goes. If you want to be like me, I'm a Survivor and Thriver, out.